Well, what does an acting coach have to do with a murder trial? Alleged. Am I going to have the courage to put this video on where you guys see me like this? I don't know. I'll think about it. This is Mihaela with Art of Experiencing, Coloring of My Grays. Oh my God. Talk about private moment in public. I usually do my hair in a specific way because I'm hiding my forehead, which has 2 bumps on it. So when I actually part my hair, I part it to the side. Be vulnerable in public. What do I want to talk about today? Trial of the lawyer Alexander Murdaugh, or Alec Murdaugh. Why is everybody pronouncing the name Alex and other people are pronouncing his name Alec? And they don't have an answer. The reason why his name from Alexander is sometimes being pronounced Alex and other times Alec is because of the phonetic pronunciation. Alex. What X in Alex is, if you pay attention to the 2 sounds that form the letter X, they would be Alex. So what would those 2 letters be phonetically? Kıs. So X equals kıs. That's why Alec from Alex. So they don't go to the S. They don't go to the second letter of X. They just go Alec. Alex, Alec. Do you get it? To do this when I don't even have viewers, those who are appearing on all these amazing programs and they get so much money to analyze, they get to be without knowledge. Why is it Alec and why is it Alex? Why are there 2 pronunciations? And he says, well, his mama calls him Alex, so I'm going to call him Alec. No, that's not why. It's because phonetically, kıs equals X. So if you stop the S, it becomes Alec. He's allegedly murdered his wife, Maggie, and his younger son, Paul, in the most gruesome way. These analysts who know so much about everything, they're talking about his emotional state. Interview, and he was sitting in a car and the detectives, policemen, they were taking interview. So they're looking at him and they're saying, well, there are real tears that are falling down his cheeks and he seems to be very emotional. If you pay attention from an acting perspective, if you pay attention to his emotional journey in that interview, there's so many signs that he's not telling the truth, real tears, and they assume it is real. Well, in acting, I would cry real tears the same way that he is crying. I would be stopped by the moderators. They would ask me to stop manipulating my emotions. The manipulation of emotions is not even allowed in acting. When you're actually portraying characters in a fictional story. As an actor portraying that character, I would be stopped and I would be asked why I'm trying to cry, because that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to cry, and how does he do that? What do I mean by manipulation? The way that he is and I'm focusing on my breathing and I'm manipulating my breathing to sound like the breathing is heavier because I am innocent and because I had nothing to do with what just happened, trying to cry. And then on top of it, he has these sounds coming out of him like that also is a way of trying to make yourself cry, because we as people, we are not feeling comfortable with making sounds. So those sounds, when given voice, will make the other people, the policeman in this case, the detectives, believe that there's something really wrong. They're not trained to recognize real crying from manipulative crying. They're not trained. Actors are trained so much better than detectives. Actors are trained so much better than so many other people to be able to distinguish between the manipulative emotion and the real emotion. So when he's letting those sounds out, hey man, is it okay if I just open the door? I'm just gonna use all these sounds and I'm gonna give you the impression that I'm actually having all these things coming out of me and I have to spit outside the door, which is what he does. He opens the door and he spits out and then he comes back in with the sound. So it's the body now plus the sound that's coming out of him. Oh my God. I am so sad by everything. I am innocent. And I'm not saying that he's guilty because that's why the trial is going on. You know, in the United States of America, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I'm talking about my recognition of his manipulation of his emotions. He had enough time to understand how he's going to fool the police, how he's going to fool the detectives. So if I do it long enough, then tears are going to be coming out of my eyes and going down my cheeks. And then when those analysts, they have no knowledge of understanding the difference between the manipulative behavior of someone or the real behavior of someone, then they will say, oh my God, he was for real crying and, you know, he maybe is innocent. For example, if somebody is for real experiencing all those emotions in the moment, he's not going to have enough time like he does to say, oh, I was careful, try to not touch him as much. When would you have the opportunity for your mind to be so clear to say, I took into consideration the fact that this is a crime scene and I didn't want to create a difficult task for you, so I didn't want to contaminate the scene. Who would think that if they really were feeling those emotions and if those emotions really came out of the truth of the situation, if he was telling the truth? The reason why I know he's manipulating those emotions is because when I watch him in that interview, I don't believe him. That's what you have to go with. If you're watching somebody even producing real tears, you have to ask yourselves, do I believe? Do I feel? It's not even do I believe, because that means that the rational mind has to come in. All you have to do is, do I feel him in this moment? Does he move me? Because he doesn't move me, because I know the difference. It might fool a lot of people who don't know the difference because the differences are very subtle. Like I just exposed them to you. Even when you watch a movie, now we're in the season of the Oscar nominated films. But I already knew when watching those movies that were nominated, he's going to be nominated for an Oscar. He's going to be nominated for an Oscar. She's going to be nominated for an Oscar. Manipulative emotions and real emotions. The reason why we get moved by some people when they cry and the reason why we don't. We get moved by the people who cry and have real tears when they're not playing for those tears. Those tears come out of something that their life depends on, metaphorically. And then even if we see people like the alleged murderer in this case, when his tears happen during the interview in the car, in the trial, because he's manipulating for those emotions, we don't feel anything, no matter that he produces real tears. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much, everyone. This is Mihaela with The Art of Experiencing. And as always, these are only my opinions. These are only my interpretations. Thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah.